friends, it's me, Miss Anna. Happy Earth Day. Today I'm going to read to you one of my favorite stories, The Lorax by Dr. Seuss. In this book, you'll meet the Lorax, and he's going to teach us why it's important to conserve natural resources on the earth and to keep it looking and feeling healthy. The Lorax by Dr. Seuss. At the far end of town where the grickle grass grows and the wind smells slow and sour when it blows and no birds ever sing, excepting old crows, is the street of the lifted Lorax. It's very dark here. I wonder where all the trees are. Let's find out. And the deep in the grickle grass, some people say, if you look deep enough, you can still see today where the Lorax once stood, just as long as it could, before somebody lifted the Lorax away. What was the Lorax? And why was it there? And why was it lifted and taken somewhere? From the far end of town where the grickle grass grows, the one still lives here. Ask him. He knows. You won't see the onceler. Don't knock at his door. He stays in his lurkum on top of his store. He lurks in his lurkum, cold under the roof, where he makes his own clothes out of muffled moof. And on special dank nights in August he peeks out of the shutters, and sometimes he speaks and tells how the Lorax was lifted away. I'll tell you perhaps, if you're willing to pay. Do you see him, the onceler, looking out of his shutters? On the end of a rope, he lets down a tin pail, and you have to toss in 15 cents and a nail in the shell of a great-great-great-grandfather snail. Then he pulls up the pail, makes a most careful count to see if you paid him the proper amount. Then he hides what you paid him away in his snub, his secret strange hole, in his grooveless glove. Then he grunts, I will call you by Wister Muffone, for the secrets I tell you are for your ears alone. Slurp. Down slurps the Wister Muffone into your ear, and the old onceler whispers are not clear, since they have to come down through a snurgly hose, and he sounds as if he had smallish bees up his nose. Now I'll tell you, he says, with his teeth sounding gray, how did the Lorax got lifted and taken away. It all started way back, such a long, long time back. Put your listening ears on. We're about to hear his story. Way back in the days when the grass was still green and the pond was still wet and the clouds were still clean and the song of the snormy swans rang out in space, one morning I came to this glorious place, and at first I saw the trees, the truffula trees, the bright colored troughs of the truffula trees, mile after mile in the fresh morning breeze. Here's the onceler's wagon. He's coming to town. Look at these beautiful trees. And under the trees, I saw brown ba-ba-loots frisking about in their ba-ba-loot suits as they played in the shade and ate truffula fruits. Yummy. From the rippleless pond came the comfortable sound of the humming fish humming while splashing around. Can you hum? But those trees, those truffle trees, all my life I've been searching for trees such as these. The touch of their troughs was much softer than silk, and they had the sweet smell of fresh butterfly milk. I felt a great leaping of joy in my heart. I knew just what I'd do. I unloaded my cart. What's he gonna do? In no time at all, I had built a small shop. Then I chopped down a truffle tree with one chop. And with great skillful skill and with great speedy speed, I took the soft turf and I knitted a theed. What's a theed? The instant I finished, I heard a gazump. I looked, I saw something pop out of the stump of the tree I chopped down. It was sort of a man. Describe him? That's hard. I don't know if I can. He was shortish and oldish and brownish and mossy, and he spoke with a voice that was sharpish and bossy. The Lorax. Mister, he said with a sawdusty sneeze, Achoo! I am the Lorax. I speak for the trees. I speak for the trees have no tongues. And I'm asking you, sir, at the top of my lungs. He was very upset as he shouted and puffed. What's that thing you made out of my truffle truff? Look, Lorax, I said. There is no cause for alarm. I chopped down just one tree. I am doing no harm. I'm being quite useful. This thing is a theed. It feeds a fine something that all people need. It's a shirt, it's a sock, it's a glove, it's a hat. But it has other uses. Yes, far beyond that. But you can use it for carpets, for pillows, for sheets, or curtains, or covers for bicycle seats. The Lorax said, Sir, you are crazy with greed. There is no one on earth who will buy that full feed. But the very next minute, I proved he was wrong, for just at that minute, a chap came along. This is a chap, this man. And he thought that the feed I had knitted was great. He happily bought it for $3.98. I laughed at the Lorax. You poor silly guy. You never can tell what some people will buy. I don't think the Lorax is very happy. I repeat, cried the Lorax, I speak for the trees. I'm busy, I told him. Shh, if you please. I rushed across the room, and in no time at all, I built a radio phone. I put in a quick call. I called all my brothers and uncles and aunts. I said, listen here, here's a wonderful chance for the whole Wensler family to get mighty rich. Get over here fast. Take the road to North Nitch. Turn left at Weehawken. Sharp right at South Stitch. He's giving them directions. And in no time at all in the factory I built, the whole Wensler family was working full tilt. We were all knitting feeds, just as busy as bees, to the sound of the chopping of truffle trees. Uh-oh, look at all the trees they're chopping down. What might happen if we take all the trees away? Then, oh baby then, my business did grow. Now chopping one tree at a time was too slow. So I quickly invented my super axe hacker, which whacked off 4 truffle trees at one smacker. See, let's count the axes. 1, 2, 3, 4. We were making feeds 4 times as before, and that Lorax, he didn't show up anymore. But the next week, he knocked on my new office door. He snapped, "I'm the Lorax who speaks for the trees, which you seem to be chopping as fast as you please. But I'm also in charge of the brown Babaloots who played in the shade in their Barbaloot suits and happily lived eating truffle fruits. Now, thanks to your hacking my trees to the ground, there's not enough truffle fruit to go round. And my poor Babaloots are all getting the crummies because they have gas and no food in their tummies." Because the Onceler is chopping down all the trees, there's no more food for the Babaloots. They loved living here, but I can't let them stay. They'll have to find food, and I hope that they may. "Good luck, boys," he cried, and he sent them away. I, the Onceler, felt sad as I watched them all go. But business is business, and business must grow, regardless of crummies and tummies, you know. I meant no harm. I most truly did not, but I had to grow bigger, so bigger I got. I biggered my factory, I biggered my roads, I biggered my wagons, I biggered the loads of the needs I shipped out. I was shipping them forth to the south. I shipped to the east, to the west, to the north. I went right on biggering, selling more feeds, and I biggered my money, which everyone needs. Look at all the cars taking the feeds to where they need to go. Then again, he came back. I was fixing some pipes when that old nuisance, Lorax, came back with more gripes. So the Onceler thinks that the Lorax is being annoying. "I am the Lorax," he coughed and he whiffled. He sneezed and he snuffled. He gargled. He sniffled. "Onceler," he cried with a coughless croak. "Onceler, you're making such smoggless smoke. My poor swarmy swans, why they can't sing a note. No one can sing who has smog in his throat." So the swans have something stuck in their throat from the smog from all the factories. And so the Lorax said, "Please pardon my cough. They cannot live here, so I'm sending them off. Where will they go? I don't hopefully know. They may have to fly for a month or a year to escape from the smog you smogged up around here." Do you see all the smog? They're going by. They look very sad. "What's more," snapped the Lorax, his dander was up, "let me say a few words about Glippery Glup. Your machinery chugs on day and night without stop, making glurpity glurp, also sloppity slop. And what do you think with this leftover goo? I'll show you, you dirty old Onceler man, you." We're gonna find out where all the goo goes. Oh my goodness. Are you ready to see? You won't believe it. You're gulping the pond where the humming fish hummed. No more can they hum, for their gills are all gummed. So I'm sending them off. Oh, their future is deary. They'll walk with their fins and they'll get woefully weary. That means tired. In search of some water that isn't so smeary. Do you see the fish? They're walking away. Look at all the trees. They're almost all gone. I only count 4. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I got mad. I got terribly mad. I yelled at the Lorax. Now listen here, Dad. All you do is yap, yap, and say bad, 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 bad. Well, I have my rights, and I'm telling you, I intend to go on doing just what I do. And for your information, you Lorax, I'm figuring on biggering and biggering and biggering and biggering, turning more truffula trees into feeds which everyone needs. And at that very moment, we heard a loud whack. From outside in the field came a sickening smack of an axe on a tree. Then we heard the tree fall, the very last truffula tree of them all. Look, all the trees are gone, and they just chopped the last one. No more trees, no more seeds, no more work to be done. So in no time, my uncles and aunts, everyone, all waved me goodbye. They jumped into my cars and drove away under the smoke-smudged stars. Now all that was left neath the bad-smelling sky was my big empty factory, the Lorax, and I. Look at the sky, so dark and gloomy. The Lorax said nothing, just gave me a glance. Just gave me a very sad backward glance as he lifted himself by the seat of his pants. And I'll never forget the grim look on his face when he hoisted himself and took leave of this place through a hole in the smog without leaving a trace. He's very sad when he's leaving because of the environment is not healthy anymore. And all that the Lorax left here in this mess was a small pile of rocks with the one word, unless. But was long ago? That was long ago. But each day since that day, I sat here and worried away. Through the years, while my buildings have fallen apart, I've worried about it with all of my heart. But what now, says the Onceler, now that you're here? The word of the Lorax seems perfectly clear. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not. So, catch, called the Onceler. He let something fall. It's a truffula seed. It's the last one of all. You're in charge of the last truffula seed. And truffula trees are what everyone needs. Plant a new truffula, treat it with care. Give it clean water and feed it fresh air. Grow a forest, protect it from axes that hack. Then the Lorax and all of his friends may come back. I think the Lorax is coming back. Here he is on a tree. Did you all like my story? If we take good care of our environment, we will have trees for a long time, and we will have our animals and fresh air to breathe. All right, friends, see you next time.